the ordering instructions in the chat if you didn't get them yet. So welcome. The ordering instructions in the chat if you didn't get them yet. So welcome. Okay, so we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Rachel, I'm getting feedback.
I've turned it off. Sorry about that.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. This is not letting me move slides. Any notion why, Rachel? Okay, January 17th, yesterday, was Martin Luther King Day. This picture is really important for something I'm going to talk about in a few moments. It was shows 1963, August 28th, the March on Washington. The speaker stood on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial looking toward the Washington Monument. More than 200,000 nonviolent demonstrators heard Dr. King's speech. He said, "Now is the time to make real the promise of democracy. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred." But 57 years later, at the Capitol, a very different and very violent gathering took place. At the center of this picture, just under the American flag, you can see Officer Michael Fanone with the words Metropolitan Police on his back. One of the many rioters who assaulted Officer Fanone used a stun gun multiple times to shock the officer. That rioter told the FBI, "When I did it, I was like, oh God, what did I do? I just left." In the same interview, the rioter said he also said he was sorry that Officer Fanone had to go through that. He told the FBI, Trump called us to DC. If he's the commander-in-chief and the leader of our country, and he's calling for help, I thought he was calling for help. He also described preparing for a battle or a civil war with the leftists. Later, at the end of the interview, he said, are we all that stupid that we thought we were going to go and do this and save the country and it was all going to be fine after? We really thought that. That was so stupid. So thinking about those two pictures, we know that we have to step up this year. We cannot let these elections go by and lose the majority in the Senate and the House. And only we at the grassroots can make that difference. So this is our agenda for tonight. If you've been to our meetings before, you know we have a consent calendar. So we put everything on here and then we vote on it all at once. There are the usual things. We do have a quorum. We have probably 100 people here. And we won't be able to welcome new members tonight because it's way too hard to do on Zoom. So we sent out the agenda in advance and the minutes. There are 2 items that are being recommended by the executive board for action. One of them is, it's really more of an announcement than an action. In December, we were asked to produce a resolution opposing the creation of a desalinization plant in Huntington Beach by Poseidon International. And it's a very complicated issue, but it was coming up before the Coastal Commission, and we were asked to rush this through, so the executive board acted on it, and we're putting it here to let you know about it. If you're interested in this issue, I'll be happy to send you a copy of this and hook you up with people who are working on it. You can just send the request to chair@canyondems.org. And the other thing we would like to do tonight is have the board would like the club to vote to support Katrina Foley for the Orange County Board of Supervisors, Area 5. We did support her when she ran for that in the last time. And now she's going to be representing us, and we want to support her. I have the treasurer's report to show you. It is very good news, and I could see, if I could see the whole thing. The most important thing is that as of today, we have $30,145.57 in our bank account. And we are going to need every bit of that this year to support our candidates and to do our outreach to voters. So this is very good news. And if you have any questions about this, please feel free to either email Ken, treasurer@canyondems.org, or email me. And so we are going to now ask you to vote, if I get this correct, on this. So I'm going to put up a poll, and each of you will be able to check a yes or a no.
Please only vote if you are an active member in the club.
Yes, yes, thank you. So go ahead and vote. We'll leave it open for a minute or two. I only see 14. How many people have voted? I only see 14 people have voted. Y'all check the box, yes or no. Okay, voting is closed and the yeses have it. Thank you very much. And we can go on with our meeting. Somebody wanting to get in just covered up my screen here. Okay. All right, moving on. Thing keeps hanging up. So we're going to have committee reports, and our first committee report is from Janet Henry, who manages candidate recruitment and support. Janet, go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
Good evening. Welcome and Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you for showing up. We got quite a crowd here tonight. And we put up here on the screen the candidates, including what you just voted on tonight, those folks that we have already agreed to support. We have Barbara Schulman, who is in Trustee 5 for Saddleback District. Now, Katrina Foley will now be in the 5th district, and that unfortunately, no, never mind. I was going to say a small part, but that's not true. I was thinking of Katie. And then Shireen Smith for the Orange County School Board in also District 5, coincidentally. And then we have Pete Harden, and all of those people, he's running for district attorney. And yes, I think all of those people have come before us one time or another in the last few months. So we now will be looking, there's a little bit more extended list of folks who will be running. Mike Levin, Katie Porter, Beth Schwartz, and then Dan Walsh, who also will be running for Saddleback School Board, and that will be in number 1. So you can see over on the right-hand side the donations that we have already given. And now what we will do is look at people that put their hat in the ring for other positions that serve our area. and maybe not even that are directly in our area, but if they impact our overall well-being, we also take a look at them. And then we'll see who we can recruit. Our biggest places that we need, yeah, there you go, Louise. City Council, we've got 3 open in Laguna Hills. Lake Forest, we've got a few. Mission Viejo, 5, and kudos to all the folks that have been working there in Mission Viejo on that. So we hope to get some people in there. And then Beth Schwartz. So those are some much needed positions, and we'll keep working at it. And if you have any recommendations, please send them our way.
Great. Okay, and Owen, you want to talk about membership?
Yes. Welcome, everyone. Keep finding things here so I can't see the screen. There we go. Okay, so you can see by the screen here that so far, basically half of our old members have renewed, which means that if the other half renew, we will actually set a record for the number of members. So you might have gotten a letter last week from me that Heather sent out, and those were only sent to people who had not renewed yet. So if you did not get a letter, you are fine. You don't have to do anything. If you did get a letter, it means you, unless you had done so just within the last day or two, you had not renewed yet. And because we have a calendar year from January to December. If you joined in the fall, you're carried over, but you're also considered in those people that are a current member. So I really can't stress enough how important it is to, our goal is to get our membership up to 500 members this year. And I know we can do that. If everybody renews, we'll be like 9/10 of the way there. So I'm really can't stress enough the importance of just going to canyondems.org and going to membership and signing up through ActBlue. You will get a receipt via email if your donation goes through. So we will not be contacting you. Some people have said, I haven't heard from Canyon Dems. Your receipt that you get is our contact, basically, that your membership has gone through. Okay. Next slide. So we need blood. There is a huge blood shortage all over the whole United States. And so our donation this month is to give blood at Saddleback Hospital. The number is on your screen. You can call, make an appointment, walk in, wear your mask. They're very spread out there. I think it's a very safe place to be. There's only about 6 seats in the whole room. And please let them know, wear your t-shirt, take a picture of yourself, put it on social media. This will be the best way you can give service for this year. Okay, next one, thank you. If we meet in person next month, we will be collecting socks, warm hats, gloves, rainwear, tarps, sweatshirts, flannel shirts, jackets that I will be taking to the Friendship Shelter in Laguna Beach. If we do not meet in person, I am just going to ask those who have not given blood to keep to sign up, to sign up, and we will just kind of continue that way of service if we do not meet in person again. Okay. And there's a lot happening in Mission Viejo on housing. Mission Viejo turned in their second draft of their housing element, and just heard last week from the state that it was not adequate by about 11 pages of comments from the state and another 13 pages of comments from the Public Law Center. So basically they have a lot of rewriting to do. It's very important, the Mission Viejo Planning Partnership, of which there are many Canyon Dems on board, is working to come up with questions that we're going to be asking to meet with the city and asking what their plan is to hopefully have a third draft that is approved. If they don't get a third draft approved in time, it means the city suffers a lot of economic consequences from the state. So it's very important to do this. There was also on January 26th, there's a fair housing workshop in Mission Viejo. So if anybody would like to attend that, I think that would be very important. There's also going to be a workshop on February 24th at the Norman P. Murray Center at 6 o'clock that the Value Rock Company is going to be holding, who is building the big, or wants to build a big condo complex, kitty corner to Steinmart. If you would like to attend that and promote low-income housing, I encourage you to do that also. So if you have any housing questions, please just email me at annowens@cox.net, and I would be glad to answer them for you.
Thank you, Ann. Okay, Andy, do you want to introduce this? Or should I?
Go for it, Louise.
Okay, we have special groups in our club for each of our cities. We're still looking for somebody to assume leadership in Laguna Hills, but this month, it has been an especially very busy time for the Mission Viejo focus group. I know the Lake Forest group, which I'm a part of, is also very busy, but this week we're going to focus on what's going on in Mission Viejo. So Walt, take it away. You have to unmute, Walt.
Walt is not online that I can see.
Oh, there's still a meeting going on, so let me do it for him. Okay, the two big issues for Mission Viejo, in addition to the housing one that Ann just talked about, is creating voting districts, and they were having a map meeting. There are 4 or 5 maps under consideration. And Walt and the people from the focus group are deciding which ones they want to support. So if you're interested, if you live in Mission Viejo and you're interested in how those district lines are going to be drawn for voting to create districts, you can talk to Walt about it, and he will help you figure everything out. Okay, or you can email me at chair@canyondems.org. The other thing that's going on, which is very complicated, is that we actually do not know at this point how many seats will be up in the next election. If you ask the city attorney, he knows what he thinks. And up until now, he's always gotten to decide this stuff without any comment. But a group of citizens in Mission Viejo has filed a request with the Secretary of State to hold the city, not the city, but city council members, Sachs, Bucknam, and Rath, accountable because they were originally elected to a 2-year term. And at the end of the 2 years, they didn't come up for election again, and they didn't leave the council. So they're sitting there serving on the council, we believe, without any authorization to do it. So it's a very complicated case. It'll go first to the Attorney General of the state of California. If the Attorney General agrees that it's a case that should be heard, then they will let us know. And then it will go to a court case. So we may have 2 seats up for election in Mission Viejo, or we may have all 5. We don't know that yet. And on the right, you can see one of the district maps that's under consideration. So a lot going on in Mission Viejo. If you live there and you want more information, get in touch with me or get in touch with Walt Lawson. Marty, you want to talk about fundraising?
There we go. Okay, am I unmuted now? It wouldn't let me before.
You're great.
Okay, so we had a very busy year despite the fact that we were hamstringed by COVID. But despite that, we made a really good amount of money, I think. You can see that our total, oh, I gotta get rid of that. The chat keeps getting in my way.
Yeah,
You can see that our total for fundraising activities was over 13,000. And then our sustaining donors added another 10,000 plus to our coffers. And I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the sustaining donors. If you'd like to be a part of this wonderful group, it's very easy. If you have another couple of dollars to give us every month, $5, $10, $150 a month, whatever you want to do. You just go to our website and look for the sustaining donorship tab there, and it'll take you right to Act Blue, and you can just sign up and give us an extra couple of bucks every month, and it adds up. You can see we have about 53 sustaining donors, I believe, at this point. The chat keeps getting in my way. And that's how much we've raised. So you saw how much total can, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. You can see how much total we have in our coffers. That's a combination of our memberships and our other donations and the activities that we've done in fundraising and our sustaining donors. We are ready to go to support local candidates coming into the June election and the November election. So we have some ideas about things that we want to plan. We want to make sure that it's safe to do so before we commit to those things, but stay posted because we've got some interesting stuff coming up. Thank you.
Marty, we all owe you a big debt of gratitude, you and your committee, because you guys really pulled it out this last year. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. We got really creative because we had to.
Yeah. Okay. And now Judy Fike is going to talk about
Yep.
the field program.
Hi, everybody. It's very frustrating to be having to do these meetings on Zoom again, but there you go. We did have a meet and greet scheduled for tomorrow, but sadly with Pete Harden, but sadly that had to be canceled, obviously. But in the future, we are going to plan more meet and greets. We have one tentatively scheduled for February the 26th in Lake Forest. And I will be reaching Pete Harden again to see what we can schedule for March. His office even suggested the possibility of doing a Zoom meet and greet. And if COVID numbers force us to do that, then that's what we're going to do. I'm really excited about the candidates we have. And I do believe they stand a really good chance of winning. So we are really going to need all hands on deck from everybody. Along with the meet and greets, let me just say a little bit more about the meet and greets, because you might be a little bit put off about, well, I don't know if I want anybody coming in my house, and do I have to fix a lot of treats and snacks and all that kind of stuff. The field team is putting together a kit, and we provide sample emails for you. We will provide lists of Democrats who live in your neighborhood that you can invite. There will be somebody, I will be working with those people who volunteer. So what we really need from you is your house and your hospitality. And we're going to see to it that the rest of the work is done by other folks. So please consider hosting the meet and greet in the future. Maybe in March, we can get started on those. So that's what I have with the meet and greets.
Okay. And do you want to talk about anything else, Judy?
Yeah, I do. We're going to start with the postcard writing sometime in March. And We've had a lot of you volunteer to write postcards. That is greatly appreciated. And so we'll be looking for people volunteering to do that. We also need people to canvass, to drop the postcards in neighborhoods. So if canvassing a whole precinct just seems daunting to you, and I understand that, even if you walk some of the neighborhoods in your local area, the neighborhood streets that you're familiar with, please consider doing that, because one of the things we need to do is to get candidate name recognition out there. Some of the offices are done in June for the June primary. So it's really important that we educate the voters and let them know which candidates are Democrats, because it may not say that on the ballot if it's a nonpartisan office. So it's really important for us to reach out to folks either through the meet and greets or through the postcards. Voter registration is a little bit on hold right now because of canvas, because of COVID. We're hoping that we can resurrect that sometime in the future. We may be looking for people who would be willing to go into nursing homes and retirement communities and maybe talk to the residents there. The demographics are such that they have people moving in and out and changing addresses, but I will get back to you with more information. If you want to get a hold of me, you can contact me at fielddirector@canyondems.org. And I'm really hoping that all of you will volunteer in some way so that we can get Democrats elected into our local offices. And that's that.
Thanks, Judy.
Yep.